Hi everyone, it's Jo at Cloth Bums here, and in today's review we are going to be looking at the new nappy from the Nappy Den. We were very kindly gifted these by the Nappy Den to have a try, but I would stress that this is not a paid promotion. There's no expectation in this. These will be put in the library and it's very kind of donation, but the opinions that I'm putting in here are completely my own and not sponsored. So let's get into the nappy. It is an all-into pocket hybrid. It has 4 rise settings here. It's your one size fits most or birth to potty style. It has 2 snap-in inserts which are 5 layers bamboo based. It's 85% bamboo, 15% microfiber, and it also has a pocket at the back. It has a triangular hip snap formation here, which I really like, and it's a very easy to use nappy, and it's very, very versatile. I've done a separate one on 7 different ways that you can use this nappy, and I'll try and pop it up there somewhere so that you can have a look at that. I did like this. I actually use this because my son is now potty trained, so I actually tested this on both my children, my 3.5-year-old and my 2-year-old son, overnight. With my daughter, who's 3.5, she doesn't wet heavily. I actually just put this on as an all-in-two and left it, and she was fine with that overnight. She did wean it, but it didn't leak. And my 2-year-old, who is still a bit heavier wetter, but not a massively heavy wetter, I used the large insert, snapped in as the all-in-two, and then I put in my own hemp trifold into the pocket to secure that. And again, no leaks, was fine overnight. So you can use this as a night nappy if you put the right absorption in. So that's always nice to know. There are a couple of little niggles that I have with this nappy, however, and I will show you what they are. The inserts I do really like. In fact, the nappy that this most reminds me of is a Fluffy Ducks, and I've got the inserts of the Fluffy Ducks, and so the large insert, they are broadly the same. Not quite the same shape, but they are roughly the same sizing, which there's nothing wrong with that. They're roughly the same size, not necessarily the same shape. However, the wraps are very different, because the wrap on a Fluffy Duck is that smaller, tighter pant style nappy, whereas the new nappy is a birth to potty style, the more traditional style. This is a lot bigger, therefore you get quite a lot of gapping. There's a lot of wrap that's not being used or not being filled by the inserts. So one thing that I would possibly look at for future versions of this is to just make these a little bit bigger. Now I know that the Fluffy Ducks also has a front opening pocket, a bit like La Petite Ours as well, so you can do more stuffing to get the front parts under the tummy panel, because the front of this, if it's pinned in its largest, the largest insert, does come just to this tummy panel, and if you're using it as an all-in-two, something larger, you might have to tuck a little bit, but if you're in the pocket form, if you use this as a pocket, then the inserts do get a little bit lost, I'm afraid. If you stuff it up as far as you can to make sure you've got absorbency for the front for a boy, then you've got about this much material, so I'd say that's a good 1.5 inches that's not being filled by the insert. So that's a little niggle. I'd like to see these, for the price that they come in at, which I think is about $16.95, I'd like to see those inserts a little bit bigger. And then this hip snap here, I like the triangle formation of the hip snaps, but because these hip snaps are male, on the larger settings, such as my daughter had, she had it on not the final setting, but the penultimate one, and the wing doesn't quite cover the hip snap. So while she did wear it and it was overnight, when I took it off, because that had been exposed, she did have a little bit of a mark on her hip, not a massive one, it did fade, but if you're using this in daytime with a bigger baby, then that might get a little bit uncomfortable. So what I would, if I were doing a revision of this nappy, I would put in a popper cover. There are other nappies that do just little popper covers that can go on that, so that if it's on its bigger setting, baby's not going to get any of that hip digging. But other than that, I really like this nappy. I think it's got a lot going for it. I think it's a really good first try. The prints are really cute. There's a purple lantern print, which is just delicious. The elastics are nice and soft, and the bamboo content makes it nice and absorbent. It's a bit slower to dry. Bamboo is always slower to dry than cotton, but it is a much more absorbent material. So I think it's a really good first go, but it's not quite the finished article. For $16.95, I would like to see some larger inserts that are going to really fill the space that the nappy offers, and I would just like to see that hip popper covered up for the larger sewing. So yeah, oh, I'm not sure if you can be able to see that. There we go. Yeah, I would just like that to not dig into my daughter's hips. Other than that, I think it's a really good first go, and I'm super pleased that the Nappy Den have brought this out, because it's just a sign that cloth is growing and more people are trying cloth. So that is absolutely great. It's exactly what we want, but just a couple of tweaks and revisions, I think. Bye.